Okay, whether or not this is the official start, who knows? But I'm telling you, I am taking this empty cartridge, unscrewing it, setting it to the side. Not a sponsor, but I go to this place around the corner called Olswell, and they sell Crude Boys brand. I don't know if you guys got that around there.
We have
Um,
Crude Boys Frosted Buds. Ooh.
yeah, I get more often than not, I get their Sweeties or their Gushers cartridge. Ooh, so tasty.
Crude Boys is very
Right.
good.
Some pop. Out of curiosity, I wonder market difference. I'm not necessarily calling out your particular dispensary, but how much is it for a cartridge opener right now?
Just depending on what you get. I mean, usually like around
Average.
$12 to $14.
Okay, tight. Yeah, I mean, I'm
And
buying these for
then
$12.
yeah, and then you obviously there's bundle deals and stuff like that you can get
And maybe we can talk
as
about
well.
Asswell. Oh,
As
I was
well.
like, I go to Olswell actually. Uh, um, because I remember, maybe we talked about this the last time around, but like these were like 35, $45 back in the day. Like a cartridge was the amount that you'd spend on an eighth, and you get half grams because that would be the deal. They don't even do half grams anymore because there's no point.
No, there's not.
And let me tell you, bro, 95, 96%, ooh, there ain't nothing like it.
That's at 95, 96% total cannabinoids. Or is that
Yeah,
THC?
THC is 90.
Okay, yeah. So 95% total cannabinoids. That is including your terpene percentages and all of that as well.
Get the fuck out of here and light your
Yeah,
goddamn marijuana cigarette. Oh, yeah.
dude. This is
Hey,
super boof.
cheers.
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 This is already
To those listening.
already partly smoked from last night. I fell asleep while smoking this. Luckily, it didn't blow up my ashtray. I'm smoking some Super Boof by Franklin Fields. It is
You know,
very
the only time I end up smoking flower these days is when I'm with friends who have it. I don't do a lot of flower these days. I just have my cartridge. Like I live with someone who doesn't smoke, so like I'm trying not to stink up the house.
yeah.
And like, well, I guess canon to this timeline we're living in. Did you see the whole Snoop Dogg arc?
Yeah, that was so funny. I'm done
Yeah.
smoking.
So I heard about it a few days before the ad dropped, where it's like a little marketing ploy. And it drops, it says Snoop Dogg says he's quitting smoking.
Yeah.
Or it said he's going smokeless.
Yeah.
So I think everybody assumed like either he's done smoking or like this, or he's done getting high, or this means he's switching to edibles. But then the ad came out. It starts on this tight shot of Snoop Dogg. He said something about like, I decided, maybe you heard, I'm going smokeless. I'm tired of smelling like sticky icky. And then it zooms out, and it's all just an ad for a smokeless fire pit. Cause like Snoop Dogg's, right?
He can't
It's
stop
Snoop Dogg.
smoking weed. If Snoop Dogg quit smoking weed, at that moment,
We wake up.
Yeah, I'm expecting a nuclear arsenal like attack.
Oh, we wait.
Yeah.
We don't want that. The
Like,
simulation
no.
is over at that point.
Yeah, at that point, if Snoop is done smoking, I mean, I might walk out in traffic at that point. I mean, like something crazy is around the corner, you know?
Yeah, because traffic isn't real.
Yes,
It's just
exactly.
it's just in a figment of my imagination, just like a man who named himself Snoop Dogg.
I don't know, man.
Hey,
I'd probably cry. I don't know what I'd do. I would leave. I would want to leave if Snoop is done smoking. That is for sure. We're done here.
well, okay. I thought you were going. First of all, that's a bit of an overreaction. Where
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
I would probably weep if Snoop D-O-double-G stopped smoking. No. However, if the simulation, whatever. Hey,
I mean,
let's
weed
pivot.
is proven to keep you. One more time, though. One more thing.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me.
Give me.
Weed is proven to keep you alive and well. I mean, look at fucking Willie Nelson. How old is that man? And he's still touring? You know?
Anecdotal evidence is not proof.
It's proof. Proof is in the pudding.
Okay, well, I bet Willie Nelson doesn't eat a lot of pudding, and that's what's helping him stay alive.
That's probably, I eat a lot of pudding, and yeah, it's due to my shortcoming.
Hey, that's a great transition. Whoa.
Sorry,
I just so no,
I was doing the summer look.
I it is a perfect transition to tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving. You gonna eat lots of pudding? What you doing? What you doing tomorrow?
Well, I have to go to my wife's family's gathering tomorrow at like 1 or 2. We're gonna go there,
Okay.
eat some good turkey, probably drink a few
Yeah.
beers, watch some foosball.
I'm not putting you on the spot, but y'all making a dish to bring along, or are you just going to
No,
feast?
just going to feast. Yeah,
Tight.
we're not doing the dish. We're going to feast. It's gonna be great. And then after that, I have to go to my mom's place, eat over
Gonna see the
there.
DiCiccos.
Yeah, chill with the family and friends because my mom will invite the whole fucking neighborhood.
Hell
And
yeah.
yeah, so it'll be fun. We get to hang out with the nieces and nephews and get all fucking crazy with them. And while I'm all turkey drunk, and it'll be a good time. Get to have. That's
I
the
feel
thing though.
like,
When you're married, you have to go to 2 Thanksgivings,
oh
and
yeah,
by the end of the day, like,
oh yeah,
dude, so full.
yeah.
It makes Black Friday suck sometimes.
Well, first of all, I don't participate in that capitalist scum of a holiday, Black Friday. All right.
Right, right.
But I do participate in the feasting of foods. And the biggest thing that I'm worried about is overindulging on Hawaiian rolls and mashed potatoes with like a ridiculous amount of butter and salt and pepper. Dude, I'm actually like I'm making a banana bread for tomorrow. I make a lot of banana bread. So
What's
that's not
that
really
one
like
song? Have you heard that song? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, and
potatoes,
pop.
tomatoes, ham,
Yeah,
lamb, chicken,
dude.
turkey, you name it.
I was jamming to that in the shower earlier. My older brother Ed sent that to me. Shout out to my older brother Ed. And I was
Well,
getting
it's a
down.
it's from like a sermon, correct?
Yes, yes. It
Like
was
I
originally.
don't know if she's talking about Thanksgiving or the holidays or celebrating something in particular, but she's like, you got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, lamb, chicken, turkey, you name it. It's perfect for a fucking trap beat behind it.
To
You
fall
got
back.
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ham, chicken, turkey, you name it.
Dude,
It's
it's going to be
amazing.
amazing. But it's also funny to think about, back to the Black Friday thing and everybody overindulging in turkey. Like
Mm.
the next day, think of how many people are running around those stores with grocery carts, just holding in Thanksgiving shits.
Has that changed? Well, wow. Wasn't ready for the Thanksgiving shits. But that is going to be brutal. It is
Think
going to be
about that.
brutal.
How many you see all these people running around all weird, and you're like, it's like, man, they got to poop.
Is
They're
that a
just
thing
trying
of
to
the
get the
past
sex
though? Because like
box.
I never really participated in it. I was like, it was a big bonding experience for my mom and sister and like cousin and stuff. But like we didn't do a lot of that. And then Cyber Monday came around. So like, is brick and mortar store rushing still a thing? Is that happening?
Well, they've changed up the process and how it goes. It used to be like, hey, doors are open, come in here and run people over and kill them.
Right.
You
I
know?
do remember like my parents or my mom like scooping up my sister and cousin and getting up at like 3 in the morning
Yeah.
to go wait outside of like Walmart in Cadillac.
They've
You know
changed
what
it
I
up now
mean?
to where it's like, okay, this particular item is going to be on sale at this time. So you're not having everybody flocking
Yeah.
to the PlayStations. I've always thought it would be funny just to go in there with a cart and just fill that bitch up with everything everybody wants and then just leave it.
Leaving it is hilarious.
Yes.
However, racing someone to something that everyone wants, I like there are fist fight videos
Yes.
that start that way. Like you piss people off. I mean, I remember when the was it the PlayStation 4? I think it was. I mean, it's probably every single PlayStation, but when the PlayStation 4 came out, there was a a Black Friday rush and they were just gone for a year.
Yeah.
Like this is before all the supply chain issues and everything.
It is very concerning when you see some mid-age women throwing fists over a 6-foot Christmas teddy bear.
Hey man, don't even well, I mean, first of all, yes, that does happen. But also, then you've got the like the douchey dudes who are like go to play security for the people that they're like with doing, and like they're the ones like back the fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like you're trying to buy like discounted butter. Get out of here.
Get out. Yeah, nobody goes grocery shopping. That would be a funny video, going in there and grocery shopping during like what is going
And just, like,
on right
looking at-
now?
That is a video though, like someone who just came to America has no idea what Thanksgiving holiday is, walking in through a grocery store and there's like people fighting in slow motion around them and they're like just so happy to be in America, like just like putting groceries into their cart.
What are
Everything
you
is available.
doing Black Friday, my friend?
Making a sketch, buddy.
Let's do it. I'm for real. I'll meet you. Let's do it.
Cyber Monday. I mean, that's where the problem is. Well, first of all, everything digitally purchased now is oversold, overpriced. Like, when's the last time you bought tickets to a show?
I just had to buy
Did you get
Detroit
them through
Lions tickets through Ticketmaster.
Through
And
Ticketmaster,
they were resold tickets, so we bought them from somebody who had already bought them.
which to me should be illegal.
Yes, $350 per ticket. There was 3 of us. We got a killer deal because once we got there and I sat down, this couple sits down next to me and she's hammered and she proceeds to tell me that she spent $1,000 per seat that she was sitting at. And she's like, that's how much you spent, right? And I didn't have the heart to tell her. And I was like, yeah. She was, okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting ripped off.
Brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
dude. Yeah.
Well, I look at things like this. So I've got my ticket jar here, which to my knowledge contains tickets to all the events I've been to. I'm sure there's more that I've lost and whatever, but like all the way back from like 2001 Red Wings games and stuff. I could pull some out of here and just like look at a price. Let's see, 2006, $30
Yeah.
to a Red Wings game. Like, when? What? Why? Why? These capitalist scum.
Corporate America.
Hey, what kind of content have you been consuming lately?
Ooh, what type of?
Be it YouTube, Netflix, podcasts.
So YouTube is my thing. I'm always on YouTube. Like, I never really watch series or anything on Netflix. I don't really watch Hulu. I just can't get into it. My attention span is always all over the place. So a YouTube video.
Do you rewatch a lot?
Rewatch a lot of YouTube?
Just rewatch. Like, do you rewatch things, or are you consuming a lot of new content all the time?
I do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if I go on Netflix or something, it's usually like I'm rewatching something. If I like Seinfeld, for instance, I've seen that a bunch. I'll watch that. Stuff that I've already seen. Go watch some South Park.
That's your show, huh?
South Park is my show, if I'm being real.
Oh, South Park. I mean, that checks out for your personality. But Seinfeld, that was a
Seinfeld is up there. It's very up there. It's cool. Top 5. Yeah. But honestly, I've just been watching a lot of YouTube. I like watching those prank videos. I think those are funny. I could never have the heart to go out and do that.
I didn't realize you were a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm a huge piece of shit. Giant piece of shit.
I've lost my freaking pen, bro. What the heck?
Let's stop the video.
My pen down and I lost. No, we will not. I'm sorry. This is the A.D.H.Deep. I didn't even say it. It doesn't matter. Usually I put it up front. Welcome to the A.D.H.Deep-Dive, the show that's not about ADHD, but is filled with proof it exists. My name is David J. Mund, and I'm, as you can tell, joined by Alex DiCicco. Okay, continue. So anyways, the content you consume. Go ahead. Go on.
So a lot of prank videos like that. I'll watch a lot of, kind of vlog type material too. That's fun. Cool. Travel vlogs and stuff like that because I don't know. I haven't traveled much. I'd love to, so I like to watch those videos.
Yearn for the days.
Yes, exactly. And just stuff like that. Watch a lot of comedy stuff on there. Skits and sketches and all of the sorts. I love it.
Do you still see?
By the way,
same. But I'm trying to look for my freaking
like stumbling over my words.
All right, we'll do it. Pause. Freaking pause. Gotta find it. All right, y'all. If you're watching the video version, see that skull? See this? This is not a punk house, it's a punk home banner. All of these things are available at catandcrew.com. That's right. They're the first sponsors. Catandcrew.com. Enter the promo code MONDAY. It's Monday, MUNDAY, to receive 10% off of your final purchase. You can get those koozies, you can get banners, you can get earrings, you can get coasters, you can get skull planters. I think it's really cool that they decided to give A.D.H.Deep-Dive listeners an exclusive deal. Because, you know, it's cool that we're building a little audience here and that you guys get to have some sort of special perks that nobody else gets. So if you aren't familiar with it yet, go to catandcrew.com, enter the promo code MONDAY, MUNDAY at checkout, get 10% off your final order. Okay, back to the show. All right, target acquired.
Eating it in my face.
Target acquired. Let me plug into the old computer. Hey, Al, I just want to say, with that sun beaming down on your cheek, you look beautiful.
Here, hold up. Watch this. You ready?
Yep. Whoa! Wow, he's so handsome. Wow,
you like that?
Such a handsome boy.
You like that, dude?
Look at you.
Yeah. Hold on.
Whoa!
There was one more for you.
Jesus fucking Christ! Hey, let me pull up some notes. Right, I made some notes.
So let's let the people know you did find your dad pen.
Yeah. Is that what we call this?
It was fun.
This is not the same as a dad pen?
Cartridge. People call it all sorts of things.
It's a pen. It's a pen.
They called it a bat. I was like, a bat? I've had people call the cartridges bullets. I was like, what are you talking about? It's a cart.
Hey, let's talk about Bison, yo. We'll plug it at the end. But you guys now have a is it your next show?
No, our next show will be already past once this airs, which is this Friday, Black Friday.
Oh, snaps. People are going to be kicking down the doors to get discount tickets to see Bison play.
Yes, sir. I hope. Anyways.
Okay, cool. Where are you playing?
So, yeah, and the Greenhouse. We're playing there. Nice little long show. And then we have the New Year show we're playing with the boys over there from Live for Tomorrow. There's another band called Party. Yeah, I'm super stoked for it, honestly. It's going to be a good old grand time.
Talk about the, there's like a new venue, right? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so it's called the Venue Event Center. It's on 13th Street here in Cadillac, right behind the truck stop. And they bring in national bands from, across the country. They also bring in big, huge name cover bands. They do all of the sorts. They host private events. And, they're allowing, a nice... they're allowing to have some local talent come in there and, provide some New Year's Eve entertainment for everybody.
Local talent. I hope you're not talking about you.
No, I'm just a guy. But I'll be there. Yeah,
okay, sweet.
I'll be there. I'm just a guy screaming in a microphone. Not really screaming. I'm singing. But the other boys from the other bands, they be screaming, though. Super excited.
They do be screaming. They do be screaming, though.
Yeah, and they kill.
We're playing with them December 9th.
Live for Tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, let me get those plugs in real fast. Mid-show plugs, you know what I'm saying? Or mid-episode plugs. Midwest Skies is playing at the Pike Room at the Crowfoot Monday. As when this episode comes out, we're playing today upstairs at the Crowfoot with Action Adventure, Cliff Diver, and Keep Flying. There's some pretty big national touring pop punk acts right now. We got in on this show at the last minute. Super exciting. And then December 2nd, we're playing at BMO's in Bay City with Bring Your Best, Searching for Closure, and oh no, I've forgotten the last act. And I apologize for that. I did this last week. When I talked about the show, I forgot the name of the last act. I feel bad.
That's that ADHD talker. You got your phone.
Yeah.
You have to look it up.
You're right. I do. And then December 9th, Live for Tomorrow. Years Later and Lame Ass Dads from Toledo, Ohio.
I love that name. I know, I love it so much. That name.
That'll be Turnstiles in Grand Rapids. So we got Pontiac, Bay City, and then Grand Rapids. Okay, let me look up the freaking show. 1 second. And then we'll get back to talking about this fucking asshole. Evan Oldenburg and Tyler Wiz. That's what it is. Okay. Tight. All right. So, for those who didn't listen last episode or don't know you at all, what to put you on the spot? And what is Bison? How long's Bison been around?
So Once Upon a Bison is the full name. A lot of people just call us Bison.
Yep. Sorry.
We have been around for hell, I think 6 years.
Tight.
I want to say. So yeah, for 6 years now. I'd say we're a rock band for sure, as far as genre speaking.
Yeah.
There's some psychedelic influences in there. There's some punk in there. There's some pop. We actually do some pop music too. We like to keep ourselves in a box. We'll do some old school classic covers too. So yeah, our sound is kind of all over the place. We don't really.
If you had to do like a circle of influences, sound wise, like a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, when it comes to artists for Bison.
Ooh, I definitely have to put Queens of the Stone Age in there. Is a big one for us. Huge influence on us. Yeah. You could even throw in there some Pink Floyd. There's some Pink Floyd influences in there. And then honestly, I'd like to throw in some old school soul type of stuff, because I feel like, I bring a lot of soul to the table when we're singing, when I'm performing. Big influence for me, the Temptations. Growing up, Tight. They were huge for me. Obviously, our sound doesn't mimic them at all, but I take I steal some runs from them and stuff.
Yeah.
Borrow, I should say.
It'd be interesting if you could do DNA tests on bands like you can with like Ancestry.com. Like, I got a little bit of Polish in me. It's like there's a little bit of like Fugazi in there. Like...
Yeah, there's some like reggae ska influence in there too. I'd say like Sublime, stuff of the sort.
When I think of your former project, Little Sketchy, I my mind immediately goes to ska adjacent. Like, yes. Even though that's not necessarily you weren't leaning like all the way into that, but like, I don't know. I picture you as a Sublime guy.
Yes.
And that like resonates from there.
Yeah, I am a Sublime guy. I do love Sublime, but my favorite bands, I just said it the other day on a podcast, was Led Zeppelin, Queens of the Stone Age, and it used to be Sublime up there, but lately I've been really, really, really falling into King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard.
The Wizard Lizard, yeah.
Yes, dude, they are awesome.
Tight.
So
somebody introduced me to them recently. Where do your like influences come from? Because I was recently listening to a podcast. I might have even been as early as this morning, where like you start like your first influences are just whatever your parents are listening to. Like you listen to that, that's the first music because they're exposing it to you. And then at a certain point you do this thing where like you sort of intentionally rebel. And this is of course projecting, and this is just lumping everyone into a particular group, assuming everyone does the same thing. Yeah. So like you go through this like, I'm going to experiment on my own. What my parents listen to is like not my vibe. And then around like early to mid 20s, you start like bringing that back into the fold and go like, oh, my parents actually had pretty decent taste. I'll listen to that with the stuff I experimented with. And then that's what you kind of lock in for the next few decades. Yeah. Like you don't really, most people, well, let's just go with some people, don't explore beyond that once they've got what they came up with in their teens and early 20s and then what their parents listened to. So like, where do your heavy influences come from throughout that genre? Like,
so my father and I really, really, really connected with music. He was a musician. Yeah. He was a singer in a band.
I didn't know he was in a band as well.
Yeah, he played in a band called Wizardry in the 80s. It was like it was a metal band, a hair metal band. Yeah, so he did that. But a lot of the influence that I received from him was that, that classic rock vibe, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, like all of those guys. That was what my dad listened to. Black Sabbath was a huge one for him. And just growing up listening to that stuff, like I never really rebelled against that. Like I never really thought my dad's music was shit because I loved it, growing up listening to that. But I did definitely rebel when I started getting into to hip hop. A big hip hop head.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, my dad did not appreciate hip hop You know,
Yeah.
he he's just one of those old school rocker dudes, you know, that was around before hip hop was a thing, and then hip hop came around, and it wasn't his sound. You know,
So
he
when
didn't
you
hate
say
it by
hip
any
hop,
means,
did
but
you start with like LA hip hop, or were you into like BC Boys culture, or were you like
so shout out to my brother Dio on this, who was actually named after Ronnie James Dio. That's how big of a rocker my dad was. So
can you explain the name?
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, who
He
is it?
was.
Who's that?
Oh my God, you don't know who Rodney James Dio
Well, for
is?
the listeners, brother, also
Oh,
no,
okay. I was
but
like,
also
oh my
still no.
goodness. He is like the god of metal, my man. He's the reason this is around.
Okay.
Well, his grandmother
This can
is.
be a history
It was,
podcast. Let's go,
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Give us some history.
So I don't know the entire history of Ronnie James Dio, I guess, but you know, he was a singer. He was a really short dude. Amazing voice. He was probably like 5'4" with this huge 7 foot tall voice underneath him, you know. And he played, you know, in a solo group just called Dio. But he also played with, I believe it was Deep Purple as well. He was the singer for Deep Purple for a little bit in another band as well that I can't remember the name of. But he fucking rocked it, man. He was amazing. And my dad fell in love with him as a child and growing up through his teens and into early adulthood. He used to love how the name Dio was written on the albums of the vinyl, how the
Was it like
logo was.
slightly slanted?
It was in that old English style
Sure.
lettering. It just said
Sure.
Dio. And so yeah, he decided to name him Dio. My mom wanted
Cool.
to name him Corey, so Dio was a way cooler name.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, he
but
doesn't strike me
anyways,
much of a Corey.
he's definitely not a Corey.
Also,
But
inside
yeah,
baseball, I'm doing it for the listeners. My best impression of Dio. There you go. I'm Dio. He's great. He's a great guy. Visually.
he is. Oh, that's funny. That's
That's
funny.
Dio.
But yeah,
Shout out Dio.
he got me into hip hop at a very young age. My brother did, and I'm thankful for that because I still to this day I'm a huge hip hop head.
Quick
He
tangent before we
started
get to the
listening.
hip hop thing.
Yeah,
Do you know your namesake? Or is it just where like why are you Alex?
yeah, I do actually. My brother named
Okay.
me. They didn't have a name for me.
Oh
My brother
really?
Dio named me as a kid. Yeah.
Like when you popped out?
I don't know if it was necessarily when I popped out, but it was before I was born, I do believe.
It's like what do you want your brother to
And
be called?
he used to watch this. Uh, I think it was Alexandria, the Bumblebee show, or something weird when he was a child,
Aw,
super
so you
young.
could have been a
And
girl named
he
Alexandria.
said that name, and my mom and dad were like, "Oh, Alexander." So
Dope.
here I am in the
Dope.
flesh.
This is why I love this podcast,
Yeah.
just to be clear. But go
Yes.
ahead.
And I mean, I love my name. You know, it's a good name, don't you think? Alexander
Not much.
flows. You know.
You suck.
Yeah. All
It
right.
sucks. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, where was I? Hip hop.
Hip
Yeah, he
hop.
introduced me to hip hop. My brother did. Super young age. I strictly remember him really falling in love with like Tupac and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. He was a
Oh
huge West
snap.
Coast guy when all of that was going on when I was a kid.
This is late
And
'90s, early 2000s. Then
late '90s, yeah, early 2000s. My brother fell in love with it super early due to our cousins. They gave him some tape. I don't remember what it was, but he just fell in love with hip hop, and you know that was his way of rebelling against our parents was hip hop, and introduced me to all of them. And then I just started really gravitating towards it, stealing his CDs, listening to his CDs. Well, not stealing them because he had a fucking firm grip on his CDs, but
sure.
yeah, just going through the motions with that, listening to that, and that led me into getting into like metal. I got into metal at a super young age too, like the
Like
typical like
classic metal.
Slipknot and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, and then pop punk really came into my life with Blink 182 when I was a kid, and
You
Green
beautiful
Day.
bastard.
Yeah, and from there I fell in love with that. That was a huge influence on me for a very very long time, and but yeah, now here I am, I guess, and it just kind of molded and kept growing. My dad also was the one that introduced me to Motown and soul music.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, the Jackson Five, that was huge. Michael
Okay.
Jackson and the Jackson, Jackson Five, the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Spinners, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin. Like, dude, we used to blast that shit when I was a kid. It was a lot of fun.
I had a bit of a trifecta because my parents split when I was very young, but we still went to my dad's. So my stepdad is my dad, and my biological dad is also my dad. But for the sake of this conversation, I'll just say my stepdad. But so like my stepdad listened to a ton of classic rock, like the Beatles, Zeppelin, Skinner. Like he was a big AC/DC guy. So like I remember the first CD I ever bought myself was the had to be like 2003 or something. AC/DC came out with another album, and it was like, oh my god, AC/DC's coming out with a new album. And I remember being excited about that and buying that. But my mom listened to a lot of like country radio, so like a lot of Garth Brooks, a lot of
Yeah, country was big for me too.
Kenny
I have to throw that
Chesney.
in there.
Kenny Chesney was a big one.
Yeah,
Tim McGraw. Yeah, lots of those guys. And then
that was good country. You can't hate it. That was the
yeah, the
good
thunder
country.
rolls and the lightning strikes. All right.
Damn right. It's that Garth Brooks, baby.
It's that Garth Brooks, baby. Where are the bodies, Garth? That's some inside baseball. I don't know if you know anything about that. But anyways, then my dad, my biological dad, listened to a lot of like Elvis Presley and the Beach Boys and like some of that like blues and Johnny Cash and like that type of stuff. And then I think I did get kind of locked in a rock adjacent pocket. I never really, other than like what the radio was pumping out, because like of course like at school dances they're playing top 50 hits or top radio hits from what was the station, 107.9 CDY, except
CDY.
I don't think that existed at the time. I think it was all just 105.9.
The Bear, right?
Well, that was 96.7, is that right? I don't know. This is way. Who gives a fuck about the radio stations of local northern Michigan, whatever. But like, my only pop exposure was that stuff like through school. But then I pivoted into some weird pockets. Like Blink-182 was. I honestly, I have to credit a lot of my favorite bands now are bands I found with Ethan Hingston. Like he introduced me to Blink-182. And then like I introduced him to A Day to Remember. It was like musical swaps, a lot of everything. Like he introduced me to Fall Out Boy. I introduced him to Atreyu. You know what I mean? Like those are the types of little pockets that we're getting into. And then yeah, you come full swing.
Atreyu.
Yeah, I get out to New York.
Was fucking sick,
dude. I love that shit. My first ever MySpace profile song was "Falling Down" off of their Lead Sails Paper Anchor album. My MySpace profile song. That's a throwback. Good time.
It was so cool back then. It was so
dude.
cool.
I know.
Dude, I miss it.
Apparently,
bring MySpace back.
Apparently, it exists exclusively for musical artists. I don't know much about it, how it operates, how it works, or whatever. But like, it might be worth still exploring. I mean, we can do it.
Do you remember getting on MySpace and your first friend was always Tom?
Yeah, and then there was a rumor that went around that if you deleted Tom, he would delete your he would delete your MySpace.
Yep.
So I was like, shit, I gotta add Tom back.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck about that.
His little picture, remember he's at the computer looking over.
So he's got like some equation behind him or something on a whiteboard.
Yes. Bring it back.
I don't know. Didn't Justin Timberlake buy MySpace? I feel like that's true. I don't know. Let me research that. I'm gonna find that out. Who owns MySpace?
I feel like I completely cut you off with this here. Listen to us.
No, this is the podcast, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
This show's not about it. Don't acknowledge the elephant in the room, dude.
It's there.
Did Justin Timberlake first search result, did Justin Timberlake retire? Second search result, did Justin Timberlake buy MySpace? In June 2009, MySpace employed approximately 1,600 employees. In June 2011, Specific Media Group and Justin Timberlake jointly purchased the company for approximately $35 million.
No shit.
Oh, wait. And then in 2016, it was announced that MySpace and its parent company had been purchased by Time like Time magazine for $87 million. All right. Well, there you go.
So
Time owns
Time
it.
magazine.
Time
Time,
owns it.
get off your fucking ass, Time, and you
And put
bring
Tom
my
back at the
space
helm.
back. I want to be able to completely control my profile. I want to have a background where somebody gets on there and they're like, man, this guy is cool. Listen to this music he has. He's got the best music on his profile. Like, bring
My
it
background
back,
for a
dude.
long time was the Skull Candies logo, and I was like, fucking, I'm so edgy, dude.
Dude,
So
that was what it
edgy.
was all about, dude.
I'm in like the
It was.
7th grade, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I ripped those headphones.
Dude, skull candies were dope back in the
Yeah,
day.
they were
They
the
were
brand
sick.
name.
Yeah,
Fuck Beats,
they were
dude. Nobody knew who Beats. I mean,
No.
Dr. Dre didn't have shit. Skull Candy did it first, dog.
They're bright ass colors.
The punks did it first, Dre.
Yeah.
That's the thumbnail right there.
But for real, bring MySpace back. Full fledged. I'm about it. Let's start
I
a
think
movement.
it exists. So let's just flood the page. Millennials,
Yes.
let's team up with let's teach them Zers how it's done. A little bit of HTML, changing the background a little bit, teach you how to code.
MySpace taught, I was to say, it taught everybody how to code.
Yeah, and I've forgotten every single bit of it.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
remember.
mean, it was really just copy paste.
Yeah, but
In a
you
sense.
could hit F11, dude, and we got in there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Man, do I gotta pull the notes? I listen to a lot of podcasts with that. Once it gets to that, like, clearly that topic's over, you hear like, huh, so what else is going on?
Yeah.
What else is going on, Alex? What are you thinking about? What's on your brain, buddy? Tell the people, man.
The biggest thing on my brain right
Anything
now,
you're
David Mund,
stressing
you wanna hear
about?
the biggest thing?
Oh,
The
yeah,
biggest
dude.
thing on my plate?
Come on, why haven't I even talked about that, dude? Do you want to
I'm
talk
gonna
about
be
it?
a dad, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Daddy next week.
Yes. Well, in April. You shouldn't call me
That's
daddy
what I
yet.
meant. I know I can't. I can't. Oh, well, I've been doing that.
I mean, you've been calling me
I
daddy,
meant next
but
year.
It'll be official.
Next
Yes,
year, and
it'll
I
be
said
official
week.
in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and I are expecting a baby. Super, 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 super happy about it. That was definitely something, that we want to step into is parenthood. I know it's not for everybody, but that's what we want to do. And I am the most excited and the most terrified I've ever been in my entire life.
I'm sure.
It's a weird, weird feeling. And I guess that feeling probably never goes away once you have a child. You're always just super excited for your kid, but also scared for what lies outside of your home doors and the world. So a lot of that's been going through my mind. Like, man, I'm gonna be solely in charge, my wife and I, of a human life. It's heavy.
One that is not
It's
your
wild.
own, even. And
Yes.
some feel incapable of like balancing the weight of their own individual life stresses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so much, dude. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, first of all, the fact that you want to be a father
Yes.
and you're about to be a father puts you at an advantage when it comes to some children's relationships with their fathers.
That is true.
They
That is
never
very
wanted
true.
to be a parent. It was a total surprise. They did not have
Yep.
the options that we do today. Well, if you vote about it.
If you're in the right state.
Yeah. For real though. But yeah, wanting to be a dad, I think is the most important part about being a dad, because even when it's like really hard, there's still this like, okay, but I have something I looked forward to, rather than just like this bomb that got dropped on you. And I was, again, from podcasts, a lot of people work like meaningless, dead end bullshit jobs that like destroy them because they're like, there's no point. Like, what is the point of doing this? That the second they have children, suddenly it gives that purpose. Like they're suddenly you're not just like grinding for yourself just to like kill time and like maybe get some money. Now you're like you are responsible for a human life. So suddenly this bullshit thing has purpose. So like literally having a child gives some people the purpose that they did not have. So
Yes.
that's all I got.
That was good though. It was great.
Well, I say that as a
Sure.
person who like just doesn't. I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know.
Hey,
Well,
you've expressed that you're not sure if you want a child
I don't want to,
or
but
not.
I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy in this conversation. This is a happy conversation about your
No,
future childhood or your future.
everybody, dude, I used to be in the same boat. Catch me at 21, 22, 23 years. Catch me before I met my wife. I was like, I don't want a fucking kid. Like, that sounds rough, But then I don't know, something switched in me, and I was like, you know what? That seems fun.
What is your
Seems
capacity?
rewarding.
What is your capacity for anger?
See, I don't know. I don't really get mad that often. I'm a pretty chilled out dude. I feel like. But the thing is, for me, I was raised around children. My mom used to run a daycare and stuff, so
Oh
I'm
yeah.
a lot more patient with children than most people are that haven't been around them as much. I can get along with kids. I can understand them. I can get on their level. And kind of talk through things if I have to with them and stuff. But um, as far as anger goes, yeah, I feel like as far as anger with children, I'm really patient. There's stuff that angers me for sure. Like earlier when I couldn't get my computer working.
Yeah, that was some insane.
Oh,
Yeah. See, okay, so
telling
that exact thing though. So not to, I don't know. I don't think that this needs to be the space where I work through some of my own family or dare I say daddy issues. But I just mean like that type of anger is the type of stuff that like I saw in my dad that I very clearly could see in myself as just being like my dad got really angry at us and I can see as an adult now that like it certainly was not on purpose. He did not hate us. My dad does love us. It's a tough, strained way of communicating it, but like I am aware that my dad loves us, whether we say the words or not. Um, but I reflect on like him being my dad when I was younger, and he was a kid. Like he was in his early 20s raising, well, every other weekend, a kid in like what in the middle of having to work. So I was in the garage with him a lot, like needing to get a tool for him, and then like him like hurting his hand, and then just seeing fuck like like that's the kind of stuff that I mean. Like
no.
seeing your dad get
I
angry is it's a sight that like your
oh
child
yeah,
your
my
child will see you get
yes.
very angry and remember some of that stuff in the future, whether you're whether it's like look, you're never going to beat your kid, you're never going to intentionally hurt your kid or whatever, but just to scare you some more, like you're going to do some stuff that your kid remembers forever, and that's what scares me about being a dad. Is like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know, yeah.
but the difference is I feel like a lot of people aren't self-aware of that. They don't think about that. The fact that you're thinking about that, no, that sets you apart.
Yeah. No. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. Um,
You know,
don't. No. Okay. So, but you're excited to be a dad,
Dude, super excited, super
and
excited.
you find out the sex of the baby soon. Is that correct?
Saturday,
Boy,
this Saturday,
right after
so I will
Thanksgiving,
know before this airs.
you might have some mashed
Yeah,
potatoes
so
still
Saturday.
in your system while you're finding out.
Yeah. I'm gonna have chicken, potatoes, tomatoes, and greens and peas and greens and teas and fleas and beans and
And a
God, I already said
baby.
beans. I said fleas. I said
Yeah, you eating
fleas.
fleas?
Why did I say fleas?
You eating
I'm eating
fleas on
fleas,
Thanksgiving?
baby.
Fleas for Thanksgiving. It's a new way. Do you think you'll
We be out
become
here.
the?
We fleeing.
Do you think you'll become like looking to, whatever. Let's go into fantasy land of family future. Do you imagine yourself being the hub of family affairs in the future, or do you like being like we go to someone else's like
I like going other places.
yeah?
Yeah,
I just imagine
personally.
like when you because of course this kid will grow to be an adult. You'll
Hmm.
probably have another child. Is that correct? Yeah, that's your anticipation is that you want to. I
Um,
see you as
I've
a multi dad kind of guy.
I've told my wife let's start with one.
Well, yeah, of course.
So let's start with one and see how we feel. Would I
Well,
want multiple kids? I'd like to say yes, but I don't know. After I have this first kid, I'm gonna be like, you know what?
right.
One is good.
Well, and also the projection that happens that I just did to you is a lot of people are like, okay, you're together. When are you going to get married? Okay, now that you're married, when are you going to have a kid? Okay, now that you had a kid, when are you going to have another kid? Okay, now that you had two.
Right.
It's like, slow the fuck down. Let me think about it.
Yeah. Right. Let me live.
But, but, but where's the fear? Like, what fears? I mean, you sound relatively positive going into it, just like, yeah, no, whatever's going to happen is going
Yeah.
to happen. But, like, what do you feel like is some heavy weight on you? Because you said that it's like the most exciting thing for you, but also that you're terrified.
Well, it's just those things of like, oh man, like I said, I'm gonna be directly in charge of a human life, and the direct outcome of how this child can be perceived, or how the child's going to think. Am I going to be a good influence on this child? Am I going to, it's a lot of inward fears, like, oh man, am I equipped for this
Right.
kind of deal? And I feel like I am. I know I am, deep down inside, but it's just you still have those second guesses. Am I going to be a good dad? Is that kid going to like me? Is the kid going to be 15 years old and can't stand my guts because I did something wrong one time?
That's
But
horrifying.
yeah, it's horrifying. It's
That.
horrifying.
It's
Yes,
like
but it's
I might accidentally yell too loud one day when my kid is 2 years old, and at 16 years old he's going to remember that and be like, "My dad was so angry when I was young, and all I can remember is just his angry face and resent me forever." And I'm like, "I didn't mean it." I don't know. I just it scares me.
I feel it. Trust me, I feel it. It scares me, and it's just stuff like that. Are we going to, as a unit, be able to coincide together and agree on things? Because once the baby's here, it's like people have differing opinions, but it's just a matter of being able to meet in the middle and appropriately tackle the situations at hand. So, but my wife and I, we are very good with communicating. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to be, well, we will be good. It's just a matter of getting our ducks in a row, setting up that routine, running with it.
Do you imagine that you have a parenting style baked into your DNA, or is it something that will? I mean, of course, some of it will form over time, but like, what are these like idealizations that you have of like, okay, I'm gonna do this with my kid. My plan is to do this, this, and this.
I just want to be a fun dad
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I don't want to force my kid to do anything that they don't want to do. Um, I want to be, I want to be there for them. I want to be able to effectively communicate with my child, and like I said, understand how they're feeling, because we come from a generation of shut up and go to your room because I said so.
Yes,
You know,
because
it
I
was
said so.
because I said so. We're from the
But
because I said so
why?
generation.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to be
Yeah.
able to explain things to my child.
Yeah.
Will there be moments where that slips out of my mouth?
Yeah.
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all human. I'm positive it's going to. I'm sure there's not a single parent out there that has never said because, or a offshoot of that phrase. But if that is to happen, I want to be aware of it and be able to sit down and hash out with my child and talk about it. I want to be a fun dad. I want to go take my kid to events. I want to do things with my kid. I feel like that was something I missed out on a lot as a child. Like we never really went out and did too much together as a family. We couldn't afford it at the end of the day.
Sure.
But I want to be able to be there for my kid. If there's a sport they want to do, let's do it. If you want to do music, let's do it. If you want to play video games, let's do it. Like I don't care what you want to do. If I have a girl, you want to sit around and play Barbies, I'm gonna be the best freaking Barbie playing partner you've ever played with. You know, like I want to. You want to go play football? Let's go play football. You like? I want to do all of that with my kid. I want to experience. I want this kid to experience life with me. You know,
Do you
that's what I
think
want.
do you think it'll happen where you are? Do you think you're gonna stick around like the northern Michigan area?
Who knows? Right now, we have no plans on leaving. I love it up here. I really do. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I left here. I went to Lansing for 3 years. Did I have a grand time? Absolutely. But there's nothing like the little small town life for me. I love the small town vibe, the small town life. Just being able to go out. You don't have to worry about too much. Like being in Detroit this last weekend. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with that. You got people walking all around you, a ton of people,
I love
seventy
the big
thousand
city,
people
man.
in the
Fucking
stadium.
love it.
Right, exactly.
Love it, dude.
But for me, I'm opposite of that. Do I love going to big cities? Sure, but I love to be able to go back home. I can see ourselves if we were to move somewhere bigger, it would be like in the outskirts. We would be in the country kind of deal.
Did you ever
And
have to
then,
move when you were going to school, or did you?
no, I was born. My parents bought the house, born in that house, and my mom still has the house.
Cool.
So we've never moved, which is crazy.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah,
about what that does to a kid and their relationships, like
yeah,
because like school is, yes, there are fundamental educational things that you need to learn, but it's more about building relationships with people and learning how to like form connections and understand social cues and when you pluck someone in like the seventh grade and then they have to spend the next half or like just like in their senior year or something like, what does that do to a kid's ability to maintain friendships? Because we grew up in small towns, a lot of our best friends are the people that we grew up with. Some people don't know
yeah.
anybody they grew up with because like they just
Mm-hmm.
moved when they were young. So if
It's
that was a
crazy to think
decision you were
about.
going to make, you'd have to do it like before your child gets
Yeah,
established in some sort of learning.
and that's the thing too. I see myself sticking around here. Like we're already trying to put roots in. Find a house, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So buy a bigger house because we're gonna need a bigger house. Kids, man.
freaking kids. I grabbed myself a little nanner. It's my munch on this nanner. Pretty sure my dog farted. Kind of stinks a little bit in here. Kind of ruining this banana.
I had the munchies. I had to get something as well.
That's what drugs do to you, folks. Makes you
Yes,
want a nanner.
I'm telling you, dude. These turkey. I know you're a You're still a vegetarian.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't appreciate these turkey pinwheels, but they're really good.
Hey, 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 hey. Just because, just because I'm colorblind doesn't mean I can't appreciate a good painting. You know what I'm saying, dude?
That's true. That is true.
I just
But
think,
hummus. Go ahead.
nah, the bit's over.
Oh.
Tell me about hummus.
Hummus is delicious.
um,
Hummus,
I would like
hummus
to
and brown bread.
we're gonna just this is a great audio portion of this podcast where we're munching on food, but I'm gonna allow it. I want to tie some of the last two bits of conversation we had together. Of course, you have a child on the way. You are still in a band. You also do some externally creative stuff. What are some ambitions that you are worried you might have to let go of, and what are some that you're excited to like use your child as inspiration for? Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm asking?
Oh, you're trying to say like what creative avenues would I have to let go of? You're saying?
Yeah, like of course, like being a parent requires a lot of sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it comes to your time and your creativity and your ambitions, but like you don't have to give everything up.
Yeah.
So like, how do you plan to continue your creative endeavors as you lean into fatherhood?
Well, once once my baby's here, we are going to I am going to take some time off from pretty much a lot of stuff creatively. You know, I'm going to probably have to take off quite some time from band and pretty much everything and just focus on a newborn, frail child. But one thing that's really cool and what I'm really thankful for is my wife is super supportive of everything I do creatively, even if she doesn't like it. You know, my humor and stuff. She doesn't like my jokes. Sorry, babe. But
Is she sitting next to you with a gun to your head right now?
she is
Blink
not.
twice.
If she was, I wouldn't have said that. But yeah, so I'm just have to take some time off. And honestly, I haven't really thought that far ahead yet because I'm trying to just take it as it comes, and once I feel like I need to start being more pragmatic about my approaches towards creativity, that's when I will really start to kind of put it down on paper and just write it down based off what I can and can't do anymore time wise.
I wanna preface what I'm saying here as like I'm saying what I'm saying to you because you are my friend rather than just like some person I'm talking to about fatherhood. Um, but I come to a lot of my friends who are about to be parents who I see the most like so blanket statement. I love you. I think you're incredibly talented. I think
Too
that
much.
your ambition has gotten you places that I I could see growing exponentially if you were able to still put time into it. I've seen a lot of friends become a parent, love being a parent, push a lot of their creativity aside, and then even though they still continue to love being a parent, they realize they lost touch with their creative self along the
Yeah.
way. And that like there's a lot of parents who did have to give up a lot because kids were just sprung onto them and then all of their ambition is just trashed. So I'm not saying that's who you are. I just
Mhm.
fear for my friends who are very talented, who have put a lot of time personally in their own lives into
Yeah.
like trying to be the best creative person they can be and then having to stop for a while.
Yeah. For me, I have to be creative. So I don't think that will ever, I may slow my progress on creativity a little bit, but I still have to be creative just for my own mental fortitude. Um, if I'm not being creative, like I said, I think I said this on the last podcast. It's like I will get down in the dumps if I'm not doing something creative or like,
But that's what I mean.
you know,
Is like it doesn't happen. Of course you wouldn't do it on purpose. You wouldn't just like stop. But like
yeah,
all of a sudden that I've had friends who like one day realize that like shit, I wasn't doing I don't know. I don't want to project this shit onto you.
no, you're fine. I mean, it's a real thing that people deal with, and like I said, I think I am in a good position to where I will still be able to, tackle creativity. There's maybe things that I have to give up along the way, sure, but will I have to adjust how I do things? Yeah, just being adaptable, finding the correct time to do it. That kid's gonna sleep eventually, so gotta go to bed. I'll be creative
That
then,
is true.
you know.
That's true. What are some things that you'd like to do? Right. I mean, this doesn't have to do with um of course you'll be a father behind all of this stuff, but like is it music for you still that is like the crown jewel? Is it like the visual creations? Like what is
So
the
I,
thing that you want to be attached to most if you had to be?
the cool thing is, like, I love music. Music is my thing. Like, there's nothing like performing music, in front of
Mm.
others and just feeling that feeling of acceptance, so long as it's a good show. We've all been there.
Yeah,
Um,
we've all bombed. Oh, and it hurts. It hurts.
yes, it does. And then you start pointing fingers and blaming others, and then you're like, oh wait,
Can you
yeah, I guess.
talk? Can you talk about a bomb? Let's talk about bombs. That's some inside baseball. Do you have a bomb that you
Ooh,
can remember?
my biggest bomb was the first time I have ever performed in front of anybody
Oh
ever.
yeah.
Yeah, as far as musically, me and my one of my best friends in life, Jake Fable, he got me into like really performing music. Had a little acoustic thing that we were doing, and we're just playing a few songs. And I mean, this is back in the days of playing Nirvana and stuff. We played like Nirvana on acoustic guitars. Like that's how
Where?
cool we thought we
What
were.
is the
So this
event?
is at Coyote Crossings, open mic. We show up
Okay,
out
so it's
there.
an open
It's
mic. Open
an
mic.
open mic, first time. My buddy's like, listen, let's go up there and do this. He's like, I've done it before. I was like, all right, whatever. We go up there, and the first two songs we played were in a half step down. So we had our two guitars tuned to a half step down. Everything was great. We get up there, we play the first two songs. Everybody's clapping. They're having a good time. Like, oh, cool. You guys are
Good.
not
Good.
bad. They could tell we're beginning. You know, they could tell I was a very fresh green musician.
How old are you?
And then at this point, I think I'm 21, 20 years old.
You
21.
were 21 when you performed for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't
I
get a
didn't realize it was.
guitar. Yeah. I didn't get a guitar and start playing guitar until I was 18.
No, like, performances in school of anything? You weren't in any, like...
I did performing arts, but I mean, that was like forensics per se.
Yeah?
Just doing that, but like it was just in front of the class. But I swept, I don't mean to toot my own horn, I was involved in every single award for that class that they
Nice,
gave out
right?
for that semester. I
All
had the
right.
best monologue, the best duo. I was a part of the best group performance, the best musical
Hell yeah.
performance. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Um,
So this
but
bomb.
this bomb, yeah. So our guitars are tuned half step down. We play those first two songs. We go to move on to the next last two songs we had because we're playing four songs, and we forgot to tune our guitars back up to standard for these two songs, and we played those two songs in a half step down, and it just sounded really, really, really wonky because of my voice. I was trying to sing it in the tune of as if it was in standard, so I was trying to find the pitch.
Now,
And
how early into the song did you realize that you were the half step down?
I was so green to music, I forgot. I was so nervous to tune our guitars. My buddy just forgot to tune them, and
Okay.
we didn't. He realized about a quarter of the way into the last song that we forgot to tune our
Brutal.
guitars.
Brutal.
Yeah, and there was like 12 people there, and they all clapped. They were all super nice still, like and then we're like, and then Jake was like, yeah, we forgot to tune our guitars on the microphone, and everybody laughed. But that was a really, really big bomb there for me.
Wow.
That was
You know
rough.
what? I was so ready to be on board for you,
That
but
should
you
have
told me
scared me
people...
away from music,
You,
honestly.
but you told me people clapped
They
and were
clapped.
nice.
Yeah, they
To
were
me, a
nice.
bomb is like no one reacts, no one does anything. I mean, I'm not to sell you short. I'm not even saying that necessarily I've had a nobody claps, nobody does anything. But like, I don't know. I've had some experiences that I can think of, like just like underwhelming expectations. Like
Yeah.
we had a show recently where like we were really excited to play the show. I was a big fan of the headliner, been a fan of the headliner for years, and they had to drop out at the last minute, and that like destroyed turnout. We ended up putting on a great show, but to nobody. You know what I mean? Like, and not. I always feel bad when I say the word nobody because of course there were people listening and like.
But there wasn't the amount of people you expected.
Yeah, but then that makes me feel like a douche when I'm like,
No, you stop that, dude. You're valid in that.
yeah. I don't know. I think I'm a little stony baloney.
No, I have a. What was that? You were like, what?
I'm just a little stoned.
No, I'm saying, how'd you put it?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've definitely played performances where there was nobody there. There was one show that I did years ago with an old band. And there was like 6 people there, probably. And when we had a hell of a time, the people there liked us still. But yeah, that was a really big like oof moment,
It is amazing that we continue though, right? And like after
It's
so
because
many times of like not feeling good on
music.
stage or like
I've never done heroin, but I imagine music is the closest you could get to it. I feel like
I
we're
bet there are
all
things that get you closer.
That is true, yeah. but we
Yep.
are all, I used to, we're chasing the dragon here.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
get that.
golf. It's like golf.
Yeah.
You ever gone golfing, David? You get out there,
Yes.
you're like, oh man, you're hitting the ball shitty all day, and then you get to hole like 13, and you line up on a par three, perfect shot, you land right next to the hole, and you birdie it. It's like,
You're
oh,
such a dad. You're such a dad.
yes, I am. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's
You
like
know,
that
son,
feeling.
nothing in life will ever come as close as the feeling of getting on hole 13.
Exactly. Never had a
Dad,
hole in
shut the
one
fuck up, bro.
yet. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like
I
we're
get that.
chasing the dragon. How many times? Like, what was your favorite show you've ever done? You
Ah,
know,
damn, I was just gonna ask you that, you son of a bitch. See, honestly, my favorite show to this day that I've ever played, well, there's two I have to say are tied because they're important in the same ways, is the show that I played when I met Midwest Guys, and then the biggest show that I've played with Midwest Guys which was when we played the Pyramid Scheme here.
yeah.
They've done huge shows. They've opened up for fucking Neck Deep. They played to like 30,000 people in the past. Like, it's been a huge thing in the past. But I'm in a moment right now where there's like a rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
So like to have that song or to have that show come after the song that we released and then see people in a packed Pyramid Scheme sing our song back to us was like, fucking did it, bro. Like, I
Here
did
we
it.
are.
But then you leave that show and you're like, now what? Now what do I do? Is that your dog?
Yeah. She's
Yeah, let me see it. Let the people see it.
I can't.
Oh, I thought you had a.
Dude, but I'm hooked up to the charger. I have a laptop and all that. So
Oh, it's sleeping? I thought.
she's
That's
sleeping.
amazing. I thought that was your dog's growling.
She's growling in her sleep.
Fantastic.
Get him, Bella. Get him.
Oh, snap.
She's wrecking him, dude.
Dang. Well, hey, fella.
So yeah, my favorite show. Let me
Yeah,
go on this.
what's yours?
Mine was when we opened up for Everclear this
Mm.
past July. That
This
was
was this year?
insane. Yeah, this
Where
past
at?
July. The Uncle Sam Jam in Woodhaven. No, not Woodhaven. Somewhere down there, somewhere by Detroit. I think it was Woodhaven. But yeah,
So we both had the best shows of our lives this summer.
yeah, that was
It's pretty cool.
intense. That was really, really, really fucking cool. Going out there playing in front of that many people, getting down, and people loved us. And at the end of the set, the last two songs, it was a monsoon downpour on us, and we
Oh, really?
kept playing. Yeah,
Hell
we
yes,
kept
dude.
playing. We got off the stage, and the stage manager was like, "I can't believe you guys kept going." It was like, "What the?"
Was the crowd getting down?
The crowd all ran to a tent that was nearby, and there was a good amount of people that still stayed there and partied with us in the rain. It
Cool,
was a
dude.
really muddy mess. That was a fucking blast.
Yeah, it's like fucking Green Day at the what's that big festival where they get it's fucking Woodstock. Yeah, where they
Woodstock,
got
yeah,
mud thrown at them and everything.
yeah, it was
And
just
you
like
just
that,
keep playing. You just keep playing.
dude. It was awesome. I was fucking freaking out after we got done though, because all of my gear was wet, and I was like, we're not Everclear, guys. Maybe we
Yeah.
should have stopped, but nothing got broken.
Did everything survive?
Everything survived. We just put it away.
Hell
And
yeah.
didn't touch it for like a week. I got home. I put all my stuff out in the sun.
Hell yeah.
Let it sit out there. Yeah,
Some rock star shit, dude.
dude, it was insane. It was cool. A lot of fun.
Do you ever have you ever I keep going for some inside baseball stuff, but do you guys have any rules or firm stances on stopping songs and starting them over? Have you ever had to do that?
Yeah, we don't. We never have. We just go
You
for it.
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a few times. Okay, there's one time. This is the bomb. I'm thinking. It was last year, maybe like the third show that I played with Midwest Guys. We were playing at Turnstiles, and we have a Christmas song. and it starts with bells coming through a PA. That's the only thing that you hear outside. It's not like we don't play any backtracks other than just like bells. But the whole band is supposed to play with the bells, and I'm supposed to be the first one to play. So if I'm off one beat, the whole band is off. Dude, we couldn't get it. We couldn't get it. So we like, you hear the bells at the start, and like, it's like sleigh bells. And then when I realized we were off, I was like, okay, quick. If we stop now, it's not embarrassing. It's like, oh, that's just like, clearly there's a technical issue. We could just say that. Then there becomes like big church, like, imagine like, I don't know, yeah, just church bells, whatever.
Yeah.
In the first like intro, like the actual intro to the song. And once that goes, like, you can't stop. You shouldn't stop. Because it's very clear that that's where the song is supposed to be going. And we stopped again. Because like, it was just, you can't. So on the third time we were like, we're playing without the backtrack. Like, the backtrack's not working. But like, you lose so much momentum at that point that you realize everybody's just like kind of cringing, like, I don't know. And you just, when you look at everyone not enjoying you, that's when it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh. So I just got
we
to
had
keep
a
my
pretty
eyes
big
closed.
we had a pretty big bomb this past summer, but I played it off really well. I feel like we recovered.
Oh yeah.
We were standing up on stage, and they were like, somebody said, "Let's play," or I said, "Let's play Ever Since," or excuse me, I said, "Let's play Psychedelic Gravy."
Tight.
And they
Music video shot and directed by David J. Mund. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, my media. And I don't know what happened. Somebody said, "Let's play Ever Since I've Been Drinking," and I guess they said I agreed to it. I don't remember doing it in the heat of the moment. Maybe I did. And I turned around to start, and I go, bah, and the rest of the band started Ever Since I've Been Drinking. Bah, and it's a clear stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, "Oh no, let's do it again." Charlie counts it in, and bah. And I was like, oh, and they keep going, and Charlie stops. He goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "What?" He said, "We're supposed to be playing Ever Since I've Been Drinking." I said, "I thought we were playing
Yikes,
Psychedelic
dude.
Gravy." This is all in the microphone.
Okay.
Again. And he's like,
Yep.
"No, we're playing Ever Since I've Been Drinking." I said, hold on. I turned to the crowd. I said, "Hey guys," I said, "bear with us real quick." I said, "We're trying to play two different songs up here." I said, "Do you guys want to hear a song about psychedelics, or do you want to hear a song about drinking?" Everybody's like, "Drinking!" It was like, all right, cool.
Sweet. Cool.
So then we started right into it, killed it. But that was one of those moments of like, oh shit, you know. I feel like in those moments, you just have to play it off. You have to laugh it off. You have to be one with the crowd. Put yourself in their shoes for a moment, you know.
And one thing you and I have talked about, like on different phone calls, is like, that's where improv comes into play in a big way. It's like,
yes.
you have to be capable of being funny and personable, not just making like a dick joke to like get the crowd to laugh real quick to distract, but like, you got to communicate. You got to like bring them in, make them part of the act. Like, yeah. And that's a skill. It takes a skill.
Another one of those moments for us was at the Grateful Bear camp out this last year. It's a cool festival. But we go to start up Funk 49. And we started up, and I played it so bad. The rest of the band did so well. I'm the lead on that. And I don't know, I was just off and played it so horribly bad. At the end of it, some people were clapping, and I pointed at them. I was like, "Oh, you guys are all too nice." I was like, "You guys are so nice." I said, "I appreciate it." I was like, the rest of you guys, I was like, "You're valid in your opinion on us up here." I was like, I really fucked that up. And everybody laughed, you know, and we went into the next song. It's just a matter of, yeah, we did that. We fucked up. We're human.
Well, and one of the things that we've found out, I think it's quintessentially punk to like make fun of yourselves and say that you sound like shit. But there's a delicate balance of like saying you sound like shit and then convincing the crowd that you actually sound like shit. So like, you gotta be careful. Yeah. And one of the things that we've found, just as a 3-piece, because it's really nice being a 3-piece, A, for scheduling purposes, B, fitting us all on the stage. Aesthetically, it looks nice. But also, like, we can, build that relationship with the crowd where, like, everybody gets to know our names. We have conversations throughout. I end up becoming the fall guy for a lot of jokes, which happens in a lot of my friendship dynamics. Whatever.
You
But
got
that's
you got the
fine.
strong
I can,
shoulders, you know.
yeah, I can play that role, and like, you know, it's a performance. It's not just like people. If people just wanted to listen to music, they'd put headphones on and listen to music. Like
Yeah,
they're going to a show. At the end of the day, it's people on a stage performing visually. I think that's a big part component, um, not just the music part. So you can fuck up music. Music is, yes, a big part of playing live music, but it's not. It's not the only important part.
exactly.
Okay.
And oh, okay, what? You okay, me, dude? What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
dude?
fucking no,
What's
dude.
up,
Okay,
dude?
if you got
Oh,
something to say, bro,
solid.
say something to say. I was ready to fucking dip you out of here, but if you don't fucking keep talking, bro, keep running your goddamn mouth.
Keep running my fucking mouth, dude. I have to tell you something, dude.
What you breezing?
This is a pineapple coconut.
Gross. Listen, I don't really do
What?
nicotine much these days, but like if I do, it's hitting someone else's breeze
Yeah,
and
same. I don't either. I
complaining about
usually
not
don't
liking the
either.
flavor.
I'm waiting for this to be gone. I bought this because I was drunk last weekend in
Yeah,
Detroit.
that'll happen.
Yeah,
I will promise myself forever now. No cigarettes. None.
yeah.
Those days are done. Those days are over.
They're so gross. They're so
Yeah, and
fucking gross.
I did it from like 14 to fucking what, 23 whenever I moved out to New York and stopped buying them,
Yeah,
26, whatever, however old I was, I don't know. What is time? Okay.
it's an
That's
illusion.
your okay.
It's an
Now
okay.
you're getting the
Okay.
fuck out of here. All
All
right.
right, buddy.
Plug. What you got? Coming up.
Once Upon a Bison, you can catch us at the Venue Event Center, Cadillac, Michigan, New Year's Eve. You can get your tickets from us. Shoot us a
Beautiful.
message. You can do all that good stuff. We'll get the tickets to you. We'll be up there with the boys from Live for
Do you
Tomorrow.
have
They will be
a
headlining, and then another
do you have a
band called
physical ticket
Party.
link? Do you have a physical ticket link?
You can get right on the Venue Event Center. I think it's the venueeccadillac.com. Find that event, go in there. It will ask you which band you are buying the tickets from. Type in Bison in there. And
Sweet.
yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's going to be fun. Right now we have three bands. We're maybe trying to find a fourth band, maybe. But there's also a DJ Double Dribble will be up there. So get
Double
up there.
dribble.
10, what is it? $15 a ticket? $15. You get
Totally
up there.
reasonable, people. No
Yes.
Ticketmaster bullshit there.
Essentially, there is. I mean, if it's only three bands, I don't know if we're going to end up with four. But if we have three bands, it's $5 a band you're paying. Come on,
There you go.
come on,
Easy money.
come on.
Come on. All right, we won't go there. All right. You go ahead and hang out. You go ahead and hang out on the line. Um, November 27th, when this episode comes out, we will be playing at the Crowfoot with Action Adventure, Cliff Diver, Keep Flying. Probably our biggest show of the year. Probably the biggest show I will have played in a long time. So come on out, check us out. Then December 2nd, December 9th. MidwestSkiesRock.com, catandcrew.com, KATANDCREW. Enter the promo code Monday, MUNDAY. Get 10% off your first purchase. And then if you want to become a supporter of this show, tap the link in the description. Just go to the Buzzsprout link. I think that's it. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Alex, I love you. You're beautiful. Thank you
Thanks,
for
buddy.
being on this show. Hang out on the line. Got anything you want to say?
No, I'm just gonna finish off this other piece of this turkey pinwheel here. That's gonna be absolutely delicious.
Tight. I want you to slowly put it towards your mouth, and as you bite, I'll slowly zoom in, and then I'll cut. Oh god, I'm so scared. It'll cut before it gets to. Okay, all right. Oh god.